In Austin, I'm Darenisha Heron. Thousands showed up for a rally in East Austin hosted by some well-known Democrats and lawmakers, pushing against efforts to redraw the Texas Congressional District map. About 3,000 people were in the crowd for the rally. Democrats looked to energize their supporters as they prepare for a fight on redistricting. President Donald Trump wants Texas to create 5 more Republican seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. The DOJ raised concerns about the current map, saying 4 districts were drawn based on race. However, Republican lawmakers have said that is not the case, and the Attorney General has defended that point in court. Rep. Greg Casar, who represents Austin, says he knows the redistricting push could very well wipe his district off the map, but he says he isn't scared.
Guys, this is the fight of our lives. We're not going to let Donald Trump take our voices. We're not going to let Donald Trump take our votes. This is our state. This is our home. This is our country. This is our future, and we're going to take it back. We're going to take it back.
The Democrats say they are keeping all options on the table, including breaking quorum and walking out to try to block a vote. 2 Austin reps, James Tallarico and Gina Hinojosa, say they are ready to do so, but it is not clear that other Democrats are. Beto O'Rourke has a message to the Democrat base if they do.
Because it doesn't just affect Texas, it affects all of us no matter where we live. This is for all the marbles in 2026. Everyone's going to pitch in and support these legislators, not just financially, but they're going to encourage them and give them the moral support to stay and prevail. So we have the heroes not of Texas, but of America standing with us today.
This was the latest in a string of town halls Beto O'Rourke has held across the state. So far, neither the House or Senate have put forward new proposed maps. The Senate and House committees will hold hearings today, the Senate virtually and the House in person in Arlington. A new presidential executive order cracks down on homelessness nationwide, but one local advocacy group calls it an attack. The order directs city leaders to change how they manage homelessness, like ending policies that make it hard for cities to relocate people. City officials will also need to send people to treatment facilities if they are a threat to themselves or others. White House officials say it will keep communities safe, but groups like Austin's Ending Homelessness Community Coalition say this criminalizes people who are unhoused. ECHO's executive director says people should be allowed to determine what they need to exit homelessness.
The difference is if it's a personal decision, if someone's made bad choices and they've ended up on our streets versus there are systems in place that don't let people access quality, affordable housing and health care in this country.
We reached out to the city's homeless strategy office. A spokesperson says they're looking into how this will affect local policies and funding and wrote, quote, "The city of Austin remains committed to ensuring the health and safety of all of our residents, including our most vulnerable populations," end quote. The Hot Summer Nights Festival and the Red River Cultural District wrapped up this weekend. It's the festival's 8th year in downtown Austin. But KVUE's Milia Masamoto explains how it almost didn't happen.
During the day, it's these temperatures that just keep rising, but at night, it's the volume that's gonna rise.
It started as just a way to combat kind of the slower times and bring people down to enjoy free music.
8 years ago, the free Hot Summer Nights Music Festival popped onto the scene. Just 7 venues were involved that first year. Now there's more than 15 spots and 150 plus local musicians performing. Well, every January, the Red River Cultural District also puts on a similar festival, Free Week. But this year, they both almost didn't happen because of funding struggles until Austin City Council stepped in.
It is a true investment in Austin's arts and music scene.
The city's 4-year, $150,000 contract will keep people lining up for live music and fund a cultural project to preserve the history of the district. The Red River Cultural District selected a research team that'll create a story map of the area for people to eventually walk through.
see some signage on a building, maybe scan a QR code and read more about what that building used to be, what musicians may have played there, kind of contribute to the bigger history of music here in Austin.
Because anything that brings people down to this street,
Ability to leverage each other and bring a crowd of 15 to 20,000 people down over 3 days is a huge impact.
keeps these local businesses around and the musicians still strumming. In Austin, Malia Masimoto, KVUE News.
40 new firefighters are ready to serve the city of Austin now that they've completed their cadet training program. For the past 28 weeks, they've been working to get their emergency medical technician and structure firefighter certifications. They were officially pinned by friends and family and took an oath to serve Austin. The valedictorian for AFD Cadet Class 139 encouraged his fellow graduates to persevere through the tough times they'll face ahead.
When you're tired and beat down, persevere and go above and beyond for the citizens that we serve, for your crew, for your family, and for yourself. We've made it this far, and the mountain awaits. Persevere.
For the next 24 weeks, the graduates will be considered probationary firefighters at stations throughout the city. Part of the beauty of the Texas Hill Country are the Highland Lakes. They were created when dams were built to tame flooding on the Colorado River. But one of those lakes submerged a small community northwest of Austin, turning it into an underwater ghost town. Here's KVUE's Bob Buckaloo.
Lake Buchanan fills 22,000 acres of land in both Burnett and Llano counties. But deep underwater, there's something that may surprise you, a true ghost town. Bluffton, Texas was built on a stagecoach line in the 1880s. About 50 families lived here. In the 1930s, work began on building a dam to control flooding on the Colorado River. But once the project was finished, water began filling the lake created by the dam, and Bluffton was submerged. Before the water rose, the people of Bluffton had reluctantly left their community. Many relocated to a new Bluffton a few miles away, safe from rising water. But around 15 years ago, during a severe drought, Old Bluffton reemerged from the water.
This is the actual old Bluffton Road, but everything from here all the way across the lake is normally under 10 to 30 feet or 40 feet of water.
In 2013, KVUE News met up with Alfred Hallmark, Old Bluffton's historian, for a look at what remained of the town, mostly foundation stones left when buildings were disassembled and moved. A town cemetery where about 200 people had been buried was also moved to higher ground before the lake claimed the town. But a few tombstones remained.
The people of the community had no choice about the dam. The dam was going to be built, but they had to sell. Some sold relatively quickly, some sold for inadequate amounts of money.
With the recent end of the drought on Lake Buchanan, Old Bluffton is underwater again, likely to reappear sometime in the future as the cycle of floods and droughts continues to shape and reshape the Texas Hill Country. Bob Buckaloo, KVUE News.
Those are the headlines here in Austin. I'm Darrenisha Heron.